welcome to our video series on intrusive thoughts. I'm Dr. Kristen Mulcahy, and I have the pleasure of being here today with Flynn,
Hi.
who I have loved working with over the years. And Flynn came in when he was just 9 years old, and he's now a freshman in college.
Crazy to
which
think
makes
about.
me feel really old.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, Flynn came in at 9 with some interesting intrusive thoughts, and I have my recollection of kind of how things went, but I'm interested, Flynn, in kind of what you remember from that time.
Yeah. So at 9, I felt that, I don't know, I just kind of an emotion overcame me where I was kind of hyper fixating on kind of this thought that even at 9 with my whole life ahead of me and a life I definitely wanted to like live, I was still scared that I was going to do something to take my own life and kind of cut short what I had ahead of me, which was extremely anxiety, it provoked a lot of anxiety within me, and it was something I hyperfixated on for a while.
And I remember Flynn, adorable, like a 40-year-old in a 9-year-old's body, comes in, and he's like, I'm having these crazy thoughts.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you're in the right place. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he's like, well, I have this thought every time I walk by a knife that I might just jab it in my head.
Yeah.
But I have a happy life. and so, I think that, Flynn, that from the mouths of babes, like that is so relevant because you sense that, that early age, like, this isn't really making sense. Like,
Right.
this isn't something I really want. But just the mere presence of, that thought, you want to attach some meaning to it.
Right.
And so, all of us have strange, weird, even disturbing thoughts all the time. But with OCD, you get stuck on that. You
Right.
hyperfixate on that. You think that just because I'm having that thought, that it must mean something. And so do you remember, Flynn, some of the exposures we did?
Yeah, I mean, I remember, at some point, I don't know where you got it. You just, you handed, because I had that fear of, knives, whenever I'd be at dinner, I would see a knife and get so scared. You, handed me, a steak knife or something. You were like, all right, hold that in your hand for a minute, and then, after a minute, we're going to have it be held to your neck for a minute. We're going to have it just chill in there.
Well, and he looked at me when I told him what we were going to do.
Yeah.
He said, lady, you're either really crazy or you're really good.
Right. Really good. Turned out to be really good.
Well, he did all of those exposures, and I think you got past, that thought pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then, over the years, we've gone, sometimes years without chatting, and you've been really good. And then, there's kind of, been bumps in the road again, with other kind of worries.
Right.
We want to talk about any of those other worries that you kind of remember have come up?
Yeah, I think, I don't think that all of my anxieties come from the same exact source, but, over the course of, years, I think things that I was out of control of, whereas it was a big, source of kind of my OCD thinking, my anxious thinking, recently, I was nervous that I was going to slip out of reality and kind of start losing my mind, just kind of at random and I think it was started because of the idea that I couldn't really control it. And so since I couldn't kind of control if I go crazy one day or not, that kind of really had me spiraling down oh my gosh, how do I control this?
Yeah.
I can't control it. This is, and that's kind of what caused it for a while. But then kind of touching back in with you and kind of, really going over similar things that we've been talking about, since I was 9. To kind of help me kind of write my course and kind of get back on the right.
And I think, with all of these thoughts, it's, wanting 100% certainty, right? That I'm not going to hurt myself, 100% certainty that I'm not losing my mind or becoming psychotic, right? And,
Yeah.
and you know, we can't have 100% certainty about anything. So as
Yeah.
good as it gets is we can say, okay, I'm a possible anything, you
Right.
know, whatever, but I just need to, you know, keep living my life. And then you see, like, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe I'm a psychotic person who's living a perfectly normal life.
Yeah.
And, right? And
Seems to be going well so
right,
far.
exactly. And maybe I can hold a knife to my head and I don't do anything. Nothing happens. And, you know, by doing that, you build trust and
Right.
confidence that, oh, everything must be okay.
I think it's that self-confidence in your own self that like just that self-assuredness that can really go, you know, can do wonders for your own like mental health. Just know that you are the person in control of your own body, you know, of your own thoughts. And even though sometimes you have thoughts that are out of your own control,
Absolutely.
it's
We
your
all do.
control. It is in your control how you deal with those thoughts and how you like
Exactly.
manage and how you relate to them.
Exactly. We can't, you know, necessarily control what's going on in our heads. And a lot of times, the more we try to, you know, control that and, you know, try to, you know, get
Like
these
the-
thoughts
yeah,
to
the
go away.
hyper-controlling,
right.
yeah.
That just makes them worse.
Right.
So we just kind of have to let the thoughts do whatever they're going to do. But no, we can always control our actions
Right.
and our responses. And
Yeah.
that's what we're responsible for. So,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, I'm just so happy to have you here.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful, you know, for you doing this because I think it's just going to help so many people to see, like, okay, this is just a great guy, you know, who's living his, you know, life, great, you know, first semester in college and, you know, struggles with these thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, you know, that is going to help a lot of people realize they're not alone. This is really, really common.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, we'll get help because, you know, you were so fortunate that at a young age, you know, your parents recognized, like, okay,
Right.
Flynn
That
is
was
struggling.
amazing.
Yeah, they got you, you know, the right help. And, you know, I think that set you up to really get past, you know,
Yeah.
any other worries really pretty quickly.
I fully agree.
And easily. So.
Yeah, I just think it's most important to just to know that, you know, these thoughts are normal. Everybody kind of deals with these types of things, and that everybody kind of handles it as well. So and so you can as well. You know, you're not powerless in this type of situation. It just matters on how you relate to things.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Flynn, thank you.
Thank you
for being here. Thank you for joining us. And as Flynn said, why get better help when you can get
the best help. Boom.